do this video live across the world. So,
Well, I'm not going to ask the question I was going to ask.
You retracting your question?
Yeah.
You gonna retract? No, that's okay. I don't mind.
I don't want that being on record.
Yeah. So we're getting Daryl set up over here. Daryl's gonna be doing the live video in here for me, and we're gonna be y'all can ask me some questions. I'm gonna start off first with just a little bit of talking, then I'll stop and I'll let y'all know when you can ask me some questions, and I'll try to give you the best I can based on what little bit of knowledge that I do have.
And that's very little.
It's very little. I don't have a lot of knowledge. Okay?
Maybe Wanda will help you.
Well, I rely on Wanda. Where are we at, Daryl?
You are broadcasting right now.
Am I broadcasting?
You are broadcasting.
Okay, guys, let me start off with this. Hold on. This one get set up over here. Okay. The first thing I wanted to talk to everybody about was and I think we're probably all on the same page about this, is a simple life. Is there anybody here who doesn't want to live a simple life? If you don't want to live a simple life, raise your hand. How many people here want to be able to live off the land and not have to go fight the rat race of a job every day? Okay, so pretty much everybody in here raised their hand for that. How many of you in here believe that you could make that happen? Okay, probably half of the ones that raised their hand. Let me say this, the number one reason is the reason people cannot do that is debt. Debt is the biggest crippler of mankind. It was never intended by God for man to be in debt. As a matter of fact, the Scriptures has more to say about being in debt than it does, or money, let me say about money, than it does about salvation. So God thought enough of it that He put a lot in there about it. Now I can sit here and go over and over and over and quote verse after verse after verse, you know, the borrower is servant to the lender, you know, all this kind of stuff. And even in the blessings of obedience spoken of in Deuteronomy, the Bible says that if a man is a blessed man and he lives a blessed life, he will be a lender, not a borrower. That's how I know that our country today is not under God's hand. It's because our country today, at one point, was over $900 billion in debt to just one country. Now we're up to $21 trillion in debt. Now, if you go back and read right beside the blessings of obedience in Deuteronomy, there's also a section that follows that. It's called the curses of disobedience that follows right behind that. And one of them, the curses of disobedience, is you will be in debt. You will be a borrower, not a lender. So we live in a country that's already under the gun, I guess you might say, as far as being in oppression. Because in this country today, the Bible says we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. Most of what we're wrestling against today is powers and rulers of darkness and all these kind of things. That's what's hindering us as homesteaders today. Because what I've come to the realization of today is in the homesteading lifestyle, and Wanda and I talked about this when we first started Deep South Homestead, I've ran 3 successful companies. And one of the main things I learned in business was you don't ever talk about religion and you don't ever talk about politics. Those are 2 of the things that will destroy you if you own a business. We got ready to do YouTube. I told Wanda, I said, look, this is just going to be a business. This is a business venture for me. And I talked to several different people that had YouTube channels, Big Family Homestead, and all them. I was talking to all these people around, and they told me, said, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I told them, I said, just get out of the way. I know how to build companies. You know? I said, I'll show you how to make this happen. It's been a year and a half for Wanda now, and we're up to 24,000 subscribers. Is it because of us? No. It has nothing to do with me. It's because I lean on a higher power. I lean on the Father. The Father is the one who builds my YouTube channel, not me. Any wisdom I have comes from Him. It doesn't come from me. Now, I've had experiences in life. I've learned things in life. Some of them just through being hard-headed. I'll just be honest with you. Some of them have been through hard knocks. And it's not been a fun road to walk. I had a young guy at the house here a while back from Mexico doing some whooping for me. And he said, Mr. Danny, I want to be just like you. You know, and I told him, I said, no, you don't. Let me just be honest with you. No, you don't. He said, yeah. He said, when you walk into a room, he said, people respect you. He said, I've been places with you. When people walk up to you, you just demand respect. And I told him, I said, son, let me tell you something. These kind of things in life does not come easy. And he told me, he said, but I'm telling you, I want to be just like you. And the whole time I was talking to him, I was reaching over, putting my hands on his shoulder. And I told him, I said, are you sure this is what you want? And he says, I want it more than life itself. But when he did, I slammed his face in the dirt. I threw him face first into the dirt. And when his face hit the dirt, I said, get up! And he jumped. He was just sitting there freaking. I said, now that's how I was raised. I said, do you want to live that kind of lifestyle? I said, because that, my friend, is what makes you or breaks you. You either come out of there, you're either made or you're broke. And I told him, I said, so I don't want to do that to you. I would rather take the time and teach you the things in life, the shortcuts, to save you from having to make all those mistakes. Because if I can do that, then you will be a success a lot faster than I was a success. And he understood that, and it ended up turning out being a great worker. You know, he ended up doing a real good job for me. But I say all that to say this: homesteading lifestyle, I think, is a fad today more than anything else. So many people get into it, and they tell themselves, I want to do this homesteading thing, and they try to start off with too much on too small of an area, and they don't succeed at it, and they have a burnout. And that, look, it's okay. In homesteading, I have to watch these cameras. I'm constantly watching cameras.
Daryl, you're live.
And Daryl's live over here. This one's live over here. I went through this at the conference trying to explain to people about the cameras being on you all the time. But I told him, I said, look, being a homesteader is not an easy lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that takes dedication. It takes hard work. It's a 24-hour-a-day job. It's not something that just happens. And people go, and that's the reason I ask you, how many of y'all want to live a simple life? You know, everybody wants to live a simple life. But let me tell you something. Homesteading is not a simple life. It's a life of dedication. It's a life of hard work. It's a life that literally demands your attention 24 hours a day. If you have animals, those animals have to be put up every day. You have to water those animals. You have to feed those animals. As far as taking vacations and doing stuff like that, it's almost non-existent. I mean, I'm surprised y'all made it here today. Because I told Wanda, I said, we do this event. I told her, I said, that probably won't nobody even be able to show up because we're all busy on homesteads. But after talking to several ones of you here, a lot of people have made provisions to be able to be gone for a day. That's the reason I told her, I said, just make it between this time and this time so that they have time to do something in the morning, they have time to go home and do something in the evening if they don't live too far away. For those of you who like this big lady and Mark who come from a long way, and Paul and Brenda and all y'all and Tommy, all y'all who come from long ways away, thank y'all. Two family drove off. Bro, I don't even know what I would think about that. Thank y'all. Because all of y'all are always telling us what a blessing we are to y'all. Let me tell you something. Standing here today, looking out at the people that's in this room, it's a blessing to us. And Wanda, I'm sure will second that because, we literally, I don't know if there's actually a word to describe it. We're floored, we're honored. these are words that I know have very little meaning to them. We're ecstatic at the fact that we have people that actually think enough to come out to an event like this today. It's just nothing more than the fulfillment of our dream in the beginning. Our dream in the beginning was to create a community of people, of like-minded people, people who can come together and can all sit around and talk in harmony and in unity about the same thing, and the person that you're talking to gets it. Because so many of us, in our lifestyles, we sit back and the people that we're surrounded by, they don't get what we're doing. They look at us like we're some kind of left arm or something other, or third arm, or whatever you want to call it. You know, they look at, what is wrong with you? You can just go to the store and get this, or you can just do this, or you can do that. They don't get it. But this room today is full of people who gets it. And I'm thankful for that. I really am. And this person doesn't know I'm going to do this, but there's one person in this room here today who came to me probably 2 to 3 years ago, and I don't even know if they remember the comment, but it was one of the biggest inspirations about me even succeeding in this YouTube channel. This person showed up at my house and made the comment to me. They said, "Brother, one day you're going to minister to a lot of people." That person's Brother Jeff sitting right here.
Amen. I remember it.
He showed up at my house and he says, "All I want to do is just be a part of it." You know? And Jeff and I have talked on and off, and he's built a cellar now. He's got him a well drilling thing. He's put him a well in the bottom of his cellar. He's done all these things. He has succeeded at what he's doing. But things like, comments like that was made to us years ago is what's pushed and caused us to push. Now, when he told me that, I didn't do YouTube. I didn't even know I didn't have a clue about YouTube.
We laughed, actually.
We laughed.
I wasn't sure you were going to make it 3 months, man.
Yeah.
You're in a hole.
I mean, you know, and I told Wanda, I said, "What's this thing about I'm going to minister to all these people out there in the world?" He said God gave him a vision or something, or showed him, or spoke to him about that. And he just showed up at my house.
Sure did.
He said, "I was driving down the road and God told me, turn down this driveway." And he came to my house and he told me that. And today, I now minister. We have been doing YouTube for 1.5 years, if I'm not mistaken, a little over a year and a half.
2 years.
Almost 2 years now. Going a couple months, we'll be doing it 2 years. 3 years? No, 2 years.
3 million views.
Over 3 million views in that length of time. And every time I do a live stream or every time I do a video, I mention our Father in it somewhere, so that I can at least, when I stand before the judgment, I can't have that person look at me and say, "You never told me." I mention something about the Father in every video that I do. And it's a ministry for Wanda and I. We started it as a ministry. Now, is it something that we try to take the glory for? No. Wanda and I are more or less the kind of people that like to stay in the background. Because I've told y'all in the videos, if it was left up to me, I'm a quiet, backwoods kind of person. I wouldn't even, if my daughter was still standing here today, she'd tell you, "I can't believe my dad has done this." Because my dad I've lived in the woods for 15 years. You know, I'm that kind of person. You know, I'm in the background. I'm never out in the limelight in front of anybody. And I've been a public speaker my whole life. As y'all told y'all in the videos, at 12 years old, I was speaking to 500 people about disassembling engines and putting them back together at a major university. So speaking is not a problem for me. But I don't do this to just be heard. I've learned a lot of things in life. I've learned a lot of hard lessons. And the reason we do YouTube, number one, is to edify and glorify my Father. Number two, is people like y'all who struggle along with some of the problems that you might have on your homestead. Maybe there's something that I'm doing on my homestead that you can see and you go, a little light bulb goes off and you go, "Oh, wow. If I do that, maybe it'll work for me." Now, I realize we're all in different climates. And I tell people on the channel, look, what I'm doing here may not work for you where you're at. Because one of the biggest things that I learned when Dirt Patch was at the house was we did the north versus the south, and she would talk about they buy their feed for a year in advance and just keep it stored. I told them, I said, you can't do that here. She said, well, why not? I told her, I said, because first of all, I said, it's gonna mold. I said, weevils and, insects, all this kind of stuff's gonna get in there. And she goes, well, we don't have that kind of problem. Because there's no humidity where I am. We can buy our feed a year in advance. She said, matter of fact, I have feed still from the year before. So I said, well, you can't do that here. And we went on, if y'all watch the videos, we went on and discussed a lot of different things that was different between being in a northern climate, being in a western climate, being in an arid climate, being in a humid climate. There's lots of different aspects. And each homestead, wherever you're located, has its own problems. A lot of people go, oh my gosh, I would never live down south where you live at with all those hurricanes coming in. And I told myself, well, that's fine. I wouldn't live where I couldn't get outside because it snowed all the time. I told myself, I'd rather be in an underground cellar and the storm's gone in 12, 15 hours, it's all over with. Now, we may have a little cleanup to do. I said, but if it starts snowing in November and it's not gone until next May, I'd swap with you. Yeah, I'm going to stay where I'm at. Because I've actually worked up there during that. But, and I've had people out west, they look at me and go, well, I just don't know if I would live where you're living. And I said, well, look at it. You got tornadoes coming through Kansas and Oklahoma all the time, just destroying things left and right. I said, the West Coast has got earthquakes happening all the time. They got the fires after the Santa Ana winds coming in, all these kind of things. I said, every place in the United States has some sort of an issue. It's called adapting. It's like the military. You go in, you assess a situation. You overcome and then you adapt. That's what homesteading is all about. Now, we always like to try to help out as many people as we can. And today is the day that I'm going to help somebody. And it's Sarah. Sarah right here has a YouTube channel. Come here, sweetheart. This girl has a YouTube channel. She's trying to get off the ground. She's trying to get going. She is doing her best. Now it's called, tell them what it's called.
Future Dreams to Reality.
Future Dreams to Reality. Guys, this is why Wanda and I do YouTube. The younger generation, we want them to come up because, look, to be honest with you, all it takes is one generation and it's lost. But when we see young people like this coming along and they're following in the footsteps of someone who's trying to teach, it's an encouragement to us. Now, she has a YouTube channel, and all of y'all that's watching us out here today live streaming, go sub to her. Do what?
Send her over so we get our link.
Okay. Tell her what you do on your YouTube channel.
Well, all I really do is I show basically day-to-day things. I show how I garden. I try and do tutorials on anything and everything I think will help someone. I try and do cooking videos as much as I can because a lot of people somehow don't know how to cook. And I want to help anybody and everybody I can, so I try and hit all these different horizons just to kind of help everyone that I can.
And what we want you to do is I want you to give Daryl your link to your YouTube channel so that we can put this at the bottom so that people can actually go over after they come on and watch this afterwards, can go over to your channel and watch it. So, sweetheart, it's people like you that we love.
Thank you.
Ask her what she's going to school for.
What are you going to school for?
I am going to trade school to learn well.
Cool. All right, guys, this is why we do YouTube right here, because this right here brings joy to our heart. To see the younger generation coming along behind us, actually trying to keep the homesteading skills going, because it is dying out in this country. We are, believe it or not, we're a dying breed. And I know that sounds hard to say because we're a whole room full of people that are like-minded, but you look at how many people are in this room right now and the diversity where we're at in the United States, and think about how many people around you do not do what you do. You're like one in a group where you're at, in a neighborhood, and the chances are most of your neighbors look at you like you're off the wall. You know, and it's the same way where Wanda and I live. Now, Wanda and I have a few people around us who do try to do homesteading, but they're not there by mistake because God put them there. And wherever you're at, God put you there also to be an inspiration for people around you. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. There's some things I can say, some things I can't say. But one thing I can say is that things is about to change in this country. There's some major changes coming. And it's people like you guys sitting in this room here that's going to be the ones that's going to make the difference. Now, I'm not to say that we won't suffer some form of persecution because we might by our government. I don't know. It just depends on how things go. But there's going to be people looking to each one of y'all in this room when this event takes place for help. And it's going to be at that point in your life that you've been raised up, just like Pharaoh was raised up for Egypt for a certain specific time. God said, I raised him up for a reason and for a time. We live in an age where, and please don't take me wrong when I say this, a lot of churches are failing. They're not doing what they need to be doing today. And God is raising up individuals to get out and to do the work that the church is missing the ball on. Now, I'm not saying all churches are missing the ball. I'm not saying that church is a bad thing. I'm just saying that you got to realize the age in which we live. We're living in what we believe to be the Laodicean church age. It's a church age that's spoken of in Revelations. It's a church age where the churches have plenty, they have lots of money, but Christ says, I wish that you would either warm, we're hot or cold, but because you're lukewarm, I'll spew you out of my mouth because I really don't want anything to do with you because you're trying to straddle the fence. So let's be one or the other. Either be cold or be hot. You know, do what the Lord asks you to do. So at this particular time, I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask some questions. If anybody, okay, first I'm here back to Ms. Wanda. Okay, we have another giveaway here. Ms. Wanda's Cooking Southern Style with Deep South Homestead to Ms. Virginia Garner. All right.
Was that a question?
That was a question. Where is Miss Virginia?
I don't know.
Okay, there we go.
That was the question.
Okay. Question number one. Who's going to?
I still want to ask my question in
Go
a
ahead,
different
brother.
form. How important do you think it is that we develop a seed base of different products that we grow that are not, and should we be using genetically modified seeds, without dogging a particular company or anything, without getting in trouble, how important do you think it is that we should be maybe networking in that area more, sharing seeds that grow better than others? How important is the seed base which you start off with?
I think that storing and saving your own seeds is extremely important because, like, anytime that you have seeds that you save from your property, now get it, you got to understand the only kind of seeds you're going to need to be saving is heirloom seeds. Don't be worrying with hybrids. You can save a hybrid seed and it'll come back, but you do not know which mother plant that it's going to derive back from. So what you want to do is Jeff is exactly right here. You want to try to build a seed bank because I guess you have to kind of go back in history and back in time to understand this completely. Used to, everybody saved their own seeds. We look at this today as being something that's new, and it's actually not new. This is something that if you go back, if you had grandfathers or great-grandfathers that were still alive, and you could talk to them, they would tell you that in their day they saved their seeds. But the world that we live in today, we're in a position where certain ones, I gotta watch my terminology here, certain ones have stepped in and said, oh, we can do this better. And they've created seeds that have living organisms inside them that are not natural. And in so doing that, these seeds, most of them have had such little research done with them that they cannot prove that they're not carcinogenic in nature. I do know that some of the seeds, I've looked at a lot of the data on some of them, that I'll use a potato chip for instance, or a corn chip. I mean, not a potato chip, but a corn chip. Now there is some genetically modified potatoes out there today. The Simplot potatoes and all them, or the new ones on the market, they're white potatoes that are genetically modified. But if a corn chip inside the gut that's had DT, which we all look at, Bacillus thuringiensis, we look at it, this is an organic chemical that we spray that, the worms eat it, it kills them. DT in the gut of a human being, the research shows, will mutate up to 2 weeks inside the human gut. An organic chemical, And a lot of us do organic gardeners use those type of chemicals. But it still shows that in the human gut that it will mutate for up to 2 weeks. So, in order to answer Jeff's question accurately, it's extremely important to save your own seed from a reputable heirloom seed. Because what you have to realize is, on my place in the Deep South, I can order seeds from Baker Seed Company. I can bring them to my house, I can plant them, and I'll get a harvest the first year. But it's not until the third year of me saving those seeds from that company that they actually produce good at my property. Because seeds have to acclimate. And it usually takes about 3 years for them to acclimate. And that's one of the things that Deep South Homestead, a lot of y'all, maybe not y'all, but some of the different ones on my YouTube channel will ask, where did you get those seeds from? How long have you had your seeds? Well, until this year, most all the seeds I have was anywhere between 10 and 25 years old. I've had them for that long. And I've reproduced them on my own property for that long. Now this year, first of all, because of the popularity of our YouTube channel, and secondly, because I've shown an interest in wanting to do a Native American gardening, I'm now getting seeds that some of them are almost extinct, from all different parts of the countries. They're mailing me all these seeds because they trust me to put these seeds in the ground to make them work. And guys, that's honoring to me. Some of these vegetables that they're sending me can last up to 2 years and not ruin. Because they were used by the Native American tribes, and that's how they survived. They did not go to a grocery store. Whatever they raised had to survive for them. And some of the techniques that I'm going to be using this year, I've learned from some of the tribes that I've been affiliated with. We'll see if they work. If they work for me in the Deep South, hey, y'all get to be a part of it. Just watch. And maybe you can actually use them on your place. Maybe it'll help you out. But it's extremely important to stay away from genetically modified organisms. Not so much because of the damage that they do to you, but they take away from your self-reliance. It makes you rely on someone else for your produce. And homesteading is all about being self-reliant. That's the whole main concept of being a homesteader, is to be self-reliant. How can you be self-reliant if you're depending on someone else for your seed source? So you want to be saving your own seed.
So even them seeds that they're sending you, you feel like that you need to develop them and be patient with them. And about the third year,
yes,
so if we get seeds out of heirloom stuff and it doesn't do good the first year, don't get discouraged with that. Do the best you can, and after several years, they'll acclimate to your property.
Yeah. Because see, I did that this year. I planted some Manuel from Oregon because it was supposed to produce some of the best bread flour that there is. Well, I planted the manna corn just like I planted the Danny corn. The Danny corn stands up 16 feet tall. The manna corn is this tall. And tossed them. Planted identically the same way. And only like out of about 100 seeds, 10 stalks came up. And as I went to save the seeds from them, the coons got in there that night and completely cleaned them out, and now I have nothing. So I have to start over again. So I mean, that's the point I'm trying to make. Just because you order an heirloom seed and you bring it to your property does not mean that it's going to work successfully for you. But don't get discouraged if only a few of some of them come along. Save those few seeds, plant them again next year. Do that for 2 or 3 years. Now don't let that be your only source. You know, plant something else. Because it should be a lesson to you that maybe that product is not even going to grow here permanently. I mean, after a couple of years, you'll know. Because if the second year doesn't do any better, I just trash it. Say, hey, it's not meant for this environment. You know? Okay. Anything else?
Same time, same place next year.
Lord willing, yes.
We're possibly gonna do one in the
We
spring.
may do one in the spring.
Because Tommy Alderman couldn't be here and he's having fits. I'm surprised he's not on the live.
We've had tons of people who just said, oh my gosh, if you'd have done it any other day, but
Yeah.
the problem is we couldn't get another building.
This was the only place in the vicinity I found until March. This was
Everything was
this
booked
was the
until
only
March.
day. And they're having a
Haunted Forest
haunted
tonight.
forest tonight here somewhere, so if anybody's interesting, stay and go to haunted forest. But Tommy Alderman wanted to come, but his grandson's having a birthday party in the middle of the day, and he couldn't come early and a little late. And then, who else? Pennsylvania, Kelly.
Oh, Kelly B. Yeah.
Y'all pray for her. She was supposed to come today, her and her husband Eric, and they were going to stay a week with us and help us. And she found out this week that she has some health issues, so y'all pray for her. Lori
family.
was supposed to be here, and she had to work yesterday, and she's got to work tomorrow. She didn't get to come in yesterday, but she wanted to. So there's several that were wanting to be here, just could not. So they want us to try in the spring.
So hopefully in the spring we'll do this again. Anybody else have a question?
So whose idea was it to start the YouTube?
I don't know where that idea.
We don't even, we've sat and talked about this.
We
you
don't know
know?
how we even.
We don't even know how we got started. And I know that sounds crazy, but I do know how we got started. Let me,
Well, yeah.
I do know how we got
Little bit.
started because of aggravation. I'll tell you why. I was watching.
The lady with the carrots.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there. I was looking for a particular subject and something to do about a particular subject, and I'm not gonna go into that subject, but as I was searching through the YouTube channels, I come across this lady who was harvesting carrots. And it just caught my attention because I said, it's not real. You're just looking at the thumbnail. So I turned the video on, and as I watched the video, I told Wanda, I said, you have got to come watch this. I said, is this what people are doing for YouTube? Because, I mean, I didn't do YouTube. I didn't know a lot about it.
We've never watched it.
We've never watched it. And this lady comes out, and she has this beautiful bed beside her house. It's dark black dirt. And here's these carrots all standing in it, and the tops were kind of wilting a little bit. And I told Wanda, I said, this isn't real. And
She just poured.
she just put potting soil in this bed because it was still black. It had not even dried out, and the tops of the carrots were starting to wilt down. And when she pulled one up to show everybody, there were no hair roots on it. It was a beautiful carrot. She put about 6 or 8 of them up, and they were spaced perfect. Any of y'all who's ever raised carrots know that don't happen. I don't care how well you thin something, it don't work.
And just for the record, no YouTube channel we know was the one that.
It's always not what we know.
Not found that channel.
We hadn't found the channel again, but she may be watching it, but I don't really care. But, you know, I told her, I said, is this what they do on YouTube? I said, I know more than these people know. I said, if that's the case, I could do this. Of course, if my daughter was still here, she would tell you. my daughter would say, Dad, you can't do YouTube. You know, that's just not who you are. And I told Wanda, I said, I'm going to do this. I said, because there's people out there who need to know that ain't how carrots grow.
And to start with, I was.
She wouldn't even get on the camera.
For like the first few videos,
Yeah.
he needed my help with something. And I told him, I said, okay, as long as you get the back, that's it. And
Yeah.
I come and I help him, and then I'm headed out, and
She didn't want to talk. She didn't want to be seen on camera. None of this stuff.
now I have my own channel.
Now she's got her own channel. Isn't that crazy to show you what YouTube can do to you?
And now my oldest daughter's thinking of getting a channel.
Yeah.
I told her instead of Crazy Days, she needs to be Crazy Days 2. TOO, and then other daughter, she just
She's probably
right
out.
here. She was thinking both of them together, and I said, now it's going to be Crazy Days TWO.
So I mean, we love doing our videos. You know, and I've had people at my house, and guys, I ain't fancy. We'll use plain Southern English. I ain't fancy. Ain't nothing fancy about me. There's not going to be anything fancy about me. I've had people there that says, oh, you need this kind of lighting, you need that kind of lighting, you need to wear this, you need to do that, your backdrop needs to be this, and this needs to happen, and that needs to happen. And I told myself, look, what you get with me is real time. When I shoot it, you know, I look at Wanda and I told her, I said, did we get that on video? And she says, well, I don't know. I said, well, if we didn't, it just missed it. Because,
We don't recreate.
yeah, I don't recreate nothing. I don't reset up anything. We did a video with Dirt Patch Heaven showing them coming down the driveway. I sit in the rain for an hour and a half waiting for that vehicle to come down my driveway.
Just for that one shot.
Just for that one clip, because I'm that much into reality. You know, because they were driving in from my daughter's place we had broke down at, and they'd gotten it fixed, and they were coming in some bad weather, and I wanted that shot.
And it was nighttime.
It was dark, it was pouring down raining, and I was sitting out there. I said, I will get this clip. You know, that
What time did he call and say they were coming? I said, she said they would be here in just a little while. He said, it's been an hour and a half. Then they had stopped somewhere.
yeah. But I mean, that's what you get when you get us, because look, we're not fake. Anybody who's been to my house and has spent time with us knows that we are what we are. We live what we say, and we say what we live. We're real. We've had people that stay with us for a week. We've had some stay with us for a couple of days. We've had some that stay with us almost indefinitely, like Dirt Patch. You know, that literally they will tell you that these people right here, whatever you see with them, that's who they are. They're not different off the camera than they are on the camera. Y'all see me here today. I'm the same here with y'all as I am anywhere in town, or if you see me at a convention or wherever you see me at, if I'm standing behind a pulpit bringing a message or whatever you see me doing, I'm the same person. I'm not going to be different. Because to me, that's just not right. I'm the guy that God created. I'm here to deliver a message, whether it be about farming, whether it be about homesteading, whether it be about anything, the Lord or whatever. I'm going to be the same today, tomorrow, and anything. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
Content. I know that a lot of people are YouTubers and a lot of people have one. I find it really hard sometimes to stop long enough to show people, like you said, what I'm doing. How do you find the time to get done what you need to do and get those videos done? It is so hard for me at trying to get a channel going to be able to and to get the things done that I need done and to slow because it slows me down so much to get that content. Because I don't want to put garbage out. I want to put out good content. And so I'll forget, like you said, they missed it, and it's really hard to do. How do you do that? How do you make that happen?
Oh, that's a difficult one. It's one of those things where some days the camera don't even go with me. You know, but then there's a lot of times that on a homestead, let me say this, on a homestead, and no pun intended to anybody on the YouTube world out there, a real homestead. Let me say that. Because there's lots of people that it's just a fad to them. they go off and bust their tail on a real job every day, and they come home and they try to shoot a little quick video and they try to make it, make it work for them. But for people that I know y'all have the farm there where you're at and the land, and you're always baking bread and you've got cows and different things like that. I know your struggles because I've done it. It's very, very difficult to get up, go out the door, carry the camera, carry the tripod, and lots of times it's not just one camera, it's 2 or 3 cameras, and you've got a tripod over here, you've got a tripod over there, you've got this sitting over here, and you're actually trying to do your work without actually looking at a camera and being conscious that you're even on a camera. And you sit back and you look and you go, while you're working the whole time, you go, I could do this a whole lot faster if I didn't have the cameras. You know? And the bottom line is just this: just do what you got to do. Just set the cameras up. If it works, it works. That's what's called editing. You know what I mean? Editing is not one of the highlights of my life. You know, granted, I can edit and make something look perfect. But if I do, then it ceases to be reality, and then it becomes an illusion. Because if you sit there and you watch everything that I do, and everything I do is perfect, then you do it, and you go, how does this happen? This is happening to me, and that's happening to me, and I just get so frustrated because I can't succeed the way they did. That's why we don't cut out a lot of things. In our videos, I mean, I get criticized, you know, people go, man, why didn't you cut that out? What's that noise in the background? Or what is this? Or what is that? I delete a lot of stuff. You don't ever see those comments. Just simply because those are the people I know that don't get it. I want it to be real life. You know, like here a while back, we did some videos and we had them logging in the background behind us. You could hear the equipment running in the background and cutting trees and stuff like that. Now, I could have easily took that background noise out, and all you'd have heard was just a blank screen with my voice. I could have done a voiceover. There's lots of things I could have done. Why do that? Because, look, it's reality. If you live as rural as we live, there's still noises. I mean, there's sometimes you can ask Wanda, and it's almost like it's habitual. It's like these people have cameras on my property watching me. I can set up to do porch time. And when I set up to do porch time, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to start shooting a gun. You know, the dogs are going to start barking at the neighbor's house. Four-wheelers are going to start running up down, you know, in the background. Motorcycles. Kids are going to start screaming, you know. I told her, I said, do they just watch me to see when I'm going to do this? So I've decided here lately, I told her, I said, you know what? I'm going to start at 5 o'clock in the morning. If y'all notice on a lot of my porch times, it's dark. And I'm saying, Lord, maybe they'll sleep today, you know?
Andrea's got to go out.
Yeah, well,
That's one of our neighbors.
that's my neighbor right here. She's my next door neighbor.
Now,
But
sometimes
she drives a quiet car, though. Her car doesn't make a lot
the
of
dogs
noise.
bark, but
They
it's
do
not,
bark.
you go out what, 7?
Yeah, she takes her baby to
Not as early as he goes, so
No.
sometimes when she goes out, the dogs will bark. We started working around that.
We've learned, as you doing YouTube videos, you learn your surroundings and you learn the noises and you learn how to work with them. Now the editing part, you know,
I like it.
I get frustrated, she over edits because she wants that quote unquote perfect video. Me, I don't freaking care.
I cut out the good stuff.
I'm one of these kind of people. I told myself, if they don't want to listen to it, don't let them listen. You know what I mean? Because that's just who I am. I mean, I told myself, it's reality where we live at. I told myself, I'm sure where they live, there's noise. People around them have dogs. People around them have cars and loud exhaust and, you know.
But they know how, and like Daryl, you know how to take all the background noise out, right? You take out dogs and cars and
Some.
yeah, see,
To a
we don't know
degree.
how to do that.
But, I mean, we just sit back and that's like guys, and I told Wanda, I said, I just attribute it to the fact that that's one reason we have the success that we have with I'm gonna say this like another YouTube guy called me and told me. He said, I wish I had your subscribers. Because yours are the real deal. And y'all are. That's the way I look at it. You're the real deal. Because you don't critique us on every little detail. You know, lots of them, every time we do anything, they're like, I can't believe you did this or whatever. You know, they just keep coming in and in and in. And that's okay. It doesn't bother me. Because Wanda, when we got our first thumbs down, Wanda cried.
Because it was on my video.
It was on her video. She said, I want to do a video. So she did a video and she got a thumbs down on it. The first one our channel ever got. And she cried. I told her, I said, what are you crying for? I'm shooting for 10. I told her, I said, if I don't get at least 10, I had to reach the other side. I said, I want thumbs down. And finally, she's got where it doesn't bother her either. As a matter of fact, we get up in the morning now and we take a bet on how fast we're going to get the first one, you know?
Within 2 or 3 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes, we always have our first one every morning. I know, I said, there's somebody sitting there waiting going, Deep South's going to be on fire.
They're watching you.
I'll be the first, you know?
I like nursing message.
I mean, that kind of stuff happens when you do YouTube videos, and it's just part of it, you know? I mean, it may be Daryl give me a thumbs down. I don't know. Is it you, brother? Okay, I just want to say
No,
that.
but we have the same thing.
Oh, do you?
We have the same thing.
We had a thumbs down for the live stream we did with Alderman.
There's probably already thumbs down today.
And I can't see it,
Oh,
but
she can.
yeah, for the night that we did the interview with Tommy.
Yeah.
Before it was over, we already had a thumbs down.
How do you thumbs down?
How generic can you be?
Yeah, we got one thumbs down. Somebody don't.
So I told you,
Yeah.
we've already got one. Just doing this
They're
today.
watching.
It's somebody that got upset because they wasn't here.
Folks, you heard it here.
But, okay, that's long enough on that. Anybody else got a question? Yes, Ms. Elizabeth?
I don't have a question.
I wanted to comment a little bit more on what you said about trying to do everything and do everything. I think for us and my wonderful loving husband just kind of said, okay, we're streaming.
Something.
But I think that what I related to was something that you said some time ago and something that I related to with everybody here and people that I hear who I watch. And, you know, I prayed on it, but then I thought, you're connecting with me and what I'm doing. How I do it might be irrelevant. Like I know there are a lot of beekeepers out there when they're doing bees, they'll show you, now we're gonna do this, now we're gonna do this. And when, you know, like, I think you all don't see my comments because you don't see them. I get to see when people go, oh, you're so real, and oh, it's real life, and I go, Mark, I'm just gonna go for it. You know, you want to see that this is just real life. I'm going down there, and I think the funniest thing was I had the smoker going all over the place, and I told a couple people here, I had my what's that thing? The leaf blower. Yeah, my leaf blower. The super duper blow them out the way. But I think, and, you know, and as I'm going down saying I'm doing this because I want more women, ladies, to think we can do this. It's not just the men who do bees, you know. In fact, we share it. And, you know, when I'm making, like, comments down there, like, oh, that's what you think you should do. I just sit down and things like that. And I get so much nice feedback. I think they're engaging with you as a person and your personality and your energy and what you're doing, as opposed to you having everything right there and everything perfect. And if there are people that are gonna, if you fear that they're gonna want you to have everything right there and everything perfect, they might not be the best people you want watching your stream. You know, you want people who are going to say, oh, you know, you're sharing yourself with them during the day. You don't have to, but you're sharing a big part of yourself. Even you're still a person. You know, you're sharing a big part of yourself.
It's the reality side.
Reality side.
It's not fake, it's real.
Right. You know, and I mean, it's not like reality TV on TV, but
not real reality.
It's just, I'm sitting there and I sit down and I'm sweating, I'm going, oh, I'm tired, That's just the way it is.
That's
And I
real
think
life.
People can relate to that. People
Yeah.
say they relate to that more than if everything was perfect, it might seem a little bit intimidating.
Well, if everything's perfect, you know it's staying.
Yep.
Well, I don't have one.
Like the perfect carrots.
I don't have not one perfect video because I use my cell phone and it's one shot. There's no editing, there's nothing. You get what you
Well,
get.
I
That's
never,
it.
I don't even know how to do it.
Well, look, we've never had a viral video. Yeah.
We don't have a
Yeah, I mean, as long as we've been doing it, we've not had a viral video.
But now we've got one.
I mean, we've got some that's close to 100,000,
It's on. It's at
but it took you 2 years to get there.
to get there. So it's slow and.
And just slow and steady wins the race. I mean, like the rabbit and the tortoise. I mean, just keep plugging along. Just keep steady.
And I think if you're having fun, they can set what you're doing. If you're having fun and you enjoy talking to them, okay. If
Yeah.
you're just, talking down to them, they'll sense it, just.
People can sense what your reactions to them through the camera. I mean, they really can. I mean, never talk down to anybody. Yeah, that's a good point. Never
I
talk.
have a question too.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Well, I'm already on the spot, so you're not doing it.
Mikey, I'm closer to my husband as I say this. You said once that you would let us know if it was time to
Get out of Dodge.
like you would let us know. And so I guess you're walking a fine line between, do you, I can ask questions, you don't have to answer. Do you have guidance? Do you inside information? Okay. Keep going. Because, there's a great responsibility, and I'm being a little bit, there's a great responsibility with knowing something and knowing that, and I'm not angry at you,
Oh, I know that.
but there's a great responsibility because if people believe what you say or know that you know something, they're going to patiently wait or suddenly lose, their patience and choke it up.
Every porch time I do, let me put it to you this way. Every porch time.
Scratch that.
No, you can't scratch it, it's live. Every porch time I do has something in it.
And he does it like spur of the moment, just say hidden message.
Oh, the
There's a message in every porch time.
You got the riddles?
Yeah, because I've had people ask me before, and I tell them, I say, every porch time I do, there's something in that porch time video that's a piece of
They
information.
all stay together?
Yeah, you just gotta know what
I get you. Okay, we're taking care of this.
Yeah, so just pay attention. Maybe it's the title, maybe it's a comment, maybe it's something, because with the way it is today, some things you can say, some things you can't say.
Right.
Let me just say this, time is probably not as long as you think it is.
And he goes out, he does porch time, he never thinks about it.
She'll always ask me, she'll say, what are you talking about on porch time today? And I head out the door with the camera, I say, I have no clue.
And he doesn't. He goes out.
I go out,
sits down and
I sit down, Father, what do you want them to know today? And he gives it. I shoot it, 25 minutes, I'm back in the house, I hand her the SD card, I told her, I say, load it, I'll come in, I said, it's got to be cut here, I made a wrong word here, I made a wrong word there, I said, I overset my boundary here, cut that out, and she puts it together for me usually, or either I'll go in and put it together, depends on how much time I have, and porch time is probably our biggest success today.
Yeah.
We have more people that would rather watch porch time, and that's really confusing to me in a lot of ways, because I told Wanda, I said the thing about our YouTube channel is that we're here to teach and to show people how to do things, but yet porch time excels. You know, that's why I said, I'm doing nothing but talking. And I've actually called some people who watch us, and I'm like, why? I said, why did you watch me today? They said, I don't care what you say, I'll just listen to you. You know, and I'm like, why? You know, I don't get it. But they go, but there's something about you that's comforting. You don't talk down to us. You get where we're coming from. You know, these are things that they talk about. This is the feedback that I get from people, unfortunately. Brenda, I know you're chomping at the bit to say something.
I was just going to, you're going to say it, what God wants you to say, people will follow.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't ever have a question about that. I'm always doing exactly what I know I'm supposed to do. That's why I'll go in and tell her, I said, Danny just got in the flesh, take it out.
Because he does say some things.
Because I get in the flesh a lot of times. When I say in the flesh, y'all don't see the rant on the other side that I put out.
Or even he doesn't put in, he rants after he gets off.
Yeah.
He goes out the window.
Yeah, that's right. I've been watching. There's, I mean, you know, I used to have a bad temper. And
Before me.
it was before Wanda. You know, because when you deal with the people I used to have to deal with in business, you just get short fused. You know, I mean, especially when you got a guy who can't use a drill motor and a screw and stop the trigger when the screw gets to the floor level. He breaks them off every time, or he stops with them that far out of the floor and he tries to restart it and they strip, and you know, you got to break them off, and it's like, what's wrong with you? You know, you know, I mean, there's all these kind of things that happen. You know, and that. But God has been so good to me. He's allowed me to bring a temper under control. And I don't get out of line. I'm usually pretty calm, pretty moderate now. Okay.
Me and Rusty are watching on our phones and
Okay. Okay, Rusty's got a question.
I've got a question. Are y'all going live tonight, or y'all just gonna call it out since this is?
Oh no, I'll go live tonight, if the Lord willing. I'll make it home and y'all don't eat me for lunch or something.
We're going to have company tonight.
Yeah, we've got several people who said they're coming to my house.
Family, I don't know anybody else, but I know that two of them are coming.
Because we're computer illiterate.
Oh, didn't share it too.
And we're I want to see I'm not above learning. And I'll say it publicly, I'm not above learning. If somebody can teach me something, I want to be taught. You know? And we've got people coming to our house tonight who's going to teach us. Amen? I need to get an amen. Oh, anyway, that's just fun though.
More questions?
Was there ever a day you woke up tired, sick, anything like that? You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do any of this. And if there was, what did you do to get over it?
Wow.
He don't stay in bed anyway.
I'll stay in bed, but I mean,
I do.
she would if I let her. That's almost every day. Just because of my personality.
But we get tired.
We get tired.
Probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I really got tired. And I looked at him, I'm like, I'm tired of doing a video every day. Do we quit? Not quit videos, but we cut back or what? And we had some videos we do a lot and we have stuff. And the editing was getting to me because I had gotten to the point I was trying to edit a whole lot of Deep South stuff, really pretty good. And Crazy Days, I'm just throwing something out there. And so then I got to editing a good bit of Crazy Days. So it was like 2 videos a day sitting editing, and I wasn't helping him, I wasn't getting things done. And I finally go, I got to quit. You know, you can get too bogged down. Julianne taught us that.
Yeah.
Julianne spent nearly a week at our house. No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks the first time, a week the second time. So almost 3 weeks altogether. And she edited most of the time. And she'll tell you to this day, I missed out at Deep South because I edited more than I spent outside doing.
Yeah.
And so I got in the last couple of weeks of doing that, and I told myself, I got to stop. So now we're going to do the cabin. And so there'll be videos, but they may be slight editing, they may be some editing.
Yeah.
But it's going to be more us working toward that, you know, just having fun.
And you ask, what do we do to get over it? You are how we get over it. the inspiration from people who kind of
Send
think
messages.
there's a
write
guy who sent
notes.
us a message here the other day, and I was just trying to think of what the
Which one?
I can't use a name or anything.
Which message?
He's a young guy who sent us the message about.
Oh, yeah, the guy that had started the homestead.
Started the
He'd been in a urban environment, in
Yes.
a inner city racial environment. And he said he grew up, most of his friends were killed because there were so many gang wars and all this. And he had even been in prison.
Been in
I
prison
believe.
for a couple of years.
And he had gotten out, met a woman, they got married, and they started their homestead. That was his goal. And he watches us and he sent us a message. And that's why we do it. Because
That's how we get over it.
when you look at how much they had to overcome, Daddy and I had a few obstacles, but really we had a decent life. But some people have a lot to overcome, you know, and you yourself, you may have a wonderful childhood. Your mom taught you, she was there all the time. You don't live in a environment where you can be shot if you walk out the door. But some of these people do.
There's a lot of people. When we're extremely tired and we're wore out, and me and Wanda a lot of times will look at each other, and I told her, I said, look, I'm not doing this. I said, we're going to have to cut back to 1 video a week, maybe 2 videos a week or whatever. And I told her, I said, because it's just, there's lots of times we don't go to bed until late at night because we're just sitting there constantly editing, trying to get a video ready for the next day, and then our internet is so bad. We did a video the other day, it took 20 hours to upload it. And we were sitting there going, oh my gosh, we're not going to have it. And sometimes our video doesn't come up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It might be like 7 o'clock before it came up, or 9 o'clock before it come up. That's because the evening before we started uploading, and because our internet is so bad, he just would not pick it up and go with it. Our upload speed is 0.033.
That was on a good day.
That was on a good day.
The other day it was 0.0.
Yeah, 0.0 that day. We killed it. You know, and I told her, I said,
0.0, I'm serious.
I told her, I said, I'm through. I'm not doing this no more, you know? And I said, wait a minute. Let's go to our neighbor's house because they had Gen 5. I said, let's just go over there and see what they've got going on, see how it works. We went over to their house. We did a little live stream up for a little while. Went perfect. People said, oh my gosh, everything's great. It looks good. Y'all are doing real good here. And it's cloudy outside. The satellite system is working. I did the latency on it. Everything was good on the latency. The ping was real good. The upload speed. And that was after he done used all his data up.
Yeah,
He was done throttled back to just 1 gig. 1 gig. And I told him, I said, 1 gig is like 50 times more than we're getting when we're on a full day, you know?
And we uploaded 2 videos in less than an hour.
Yeah, we did 2
which helped
videos.
us for a couple of days. We could upload 15, 20 hours if we had to by getting 2 in 1 hour. And we went to town one day this past week and was at Walmart, and I told him, I said, look, let me just try, see what happens. So I uploaded at Walmart. We were shopping at
2
Walmart.
videos while we were at Walmart. In 45 minutes, we uploaded 2 videos at Walmart.
And Daddy hates Walmart.
I hate Walmart. Y'all have to know, this was a sacrifice for y'all.
God amen.
They said in the parking lot, okay, we gotta go. I said, no, we like about 15 minutes. 15% getting it finished uploaded. He said, well, it needs to hurry up. And I'm like, it's taken 10 minutes. He had to sit 10 whole minutes to get a video.
I'm so OCD until I'm sitting there, I told her, I said, I can't do this. I said, we've got to go. And she says, Danny, we got like 5 minutes left on the video. And I'm sitting there looking around, I'm like, I'm in Walmart parking lot, I'm like, you know, look at some Dutch pull a gun out or whatever. But that's, you know, that's what it's about. I mean, we get over it because there's people like you that we know are out there that need the information. I'll tell Wanda, I said, look, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting up, I'm just gonna go in there and get ready. Sometimes I'll do a live stream in the morning. You know, it just depends. So, anything else?
I don't know, y'all got But yeah, we do enjoy what we do, and I like giving away. So you know, I've got all these giveaways, and I have to do one special something.
Do a giveaway now.
Betty's box blessings. Now I've given away several of the things that I got from her box. Actually, it was a guy that sent me the message, not Betty. You know, I thought it was a woman, but there is a Betty. I found out they're in Alabama. He sent me Larry messaged yesterday, he said you can give away one whole box to one person. So I'm gonna give away, the box I got was the October box. It was called Grateful Heart. And then if you sign up, I have a link in some of the descriptions, and I'm gonna try and put it in our other, it's kind of a sign-up box for people that live out in the country that can't get to a Bible bookstore. Like, I mean, I don't know how many of you live out and you don't have time to travel, you need encouragement. This little box comes in, it's got these cute little things with, somebody got the cookbook, which was, it has 365 days of recipes and devotions. And the devotions were great, because I was sitting in the truck looking at them. They were awesome, and I almost kept it to myself, but I've got like 15 dozen cookbooks. And so I thought I'd bless somebody. Well, when he saw me do the video, he said, go ahead and give somebody a box. So let me just draw a name.
Choose a name here, y'all.
And it will come in the mail next week. Mark B. And then because they're in Alabama, the company is not a huge company, but we like promoting smaller companies and smaller channels. That's why we had 7D here, Sherry, over here.
She's over here. Yeah.
And we've got more of her bread that I've got to give away, and I've got some of Brenda's, Sherry's. Sherry and Sherry's bread. Y'all are confused. And then we've got a few more items I'm going to give away as people are round and about. But then we had Grandma Rose's apron. And
I got it.
Suzanne got it. And she's got a bunch of cute aprons, and those are the drawing aprons where you can draw it up, and you may have to show them. Draw it up, and you put your eggs, or you can put your veggies, or whatever in it. And that one was fall, and I asked her for that one specifically because she had to send it through the mail. She couldn't make it because of her windshield wiper. She was on here, I think.
She's up around Starksville.
Yeah. And we wanted to promote smaller channels, and that's something that we do quite often. And just like Future Dreams to Reality, you know, there are so many small channels that need that little boost, and people get to know them because I don't watch YouTube as much as Danny does. And
When we started, she had 20 subscribers. I had no idea what she has now.
we shall see.
Oh, is that for now?
Yeah, that's all she got for now.
We're going out to the lady by the
Two, guys, several people had asked me for sugar cane. There is sugar cane in the corners of the room. If anybody wants any, just see me afterwards. I know Marshall Farms, I've got some for them. And plus on the floor over there, somebody had mentioned something, they wanted some syrup making sugar cane. It's already cut into short lengths. It's already been waxed on the end. I'm going to go ahead and tell you there's a YouTube video coming up about that, about how to save it. And then I've got Danny corn hanging around in the room here. If any of y'all want to get some of that, talk to me about that afterwards. We'll get that squared away for you. Jeff, you said you had some corn?
I've got it's Indian corn. If anybody is interested in perhaps some of it. I don't know how you're doing your corn. I don't want to interfere with what you're doing.
You're not going to interfere with me.
Okay. I have some if you want to. Yeah, I got three. I bought 3 pounds of it. If you're interested in it, let me know.
Okay, there's a whole stack of echinacea, Brenda. Echinacea. All right, now they just get one if they want to, what?
Yes.
Okay, just so I'm
And
sure.
in the box is red okra.
This is red okra, so she said y'all want some seed?
I got my
Go right.
Paper Creek. And that's what I heard.
And she brought us some red okra, it is good. Okay, 2 family, flame the knife.
3 different kinds of, that's the knife.
There's your knife. All right, 3 kinds of
You
seed.
lost it? It's found now.
I found your knife. Okay, here's your knife.
Yeah, take the knife.
Yeah. Look who
Y'all can't have it.
look who you're giving it to.
Yeah, look who you giving the knife to. Take the knife.
Okay, mixed pole beans.
They're all mixed pole beans.
Okay, all of them are mixed. Okay, so these are just eat them.
This is for people just to come along and get one?
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so we've got echinacea, we've got mixed pole beans,
Red okra
red okra,
and friendship bread, Brenda.
Friendship bread. Okay.
Brenda.
Rusty had his hand at what?
Is this just giveaway too?
Yes.
Okay, Brenda brought the starter for the Amish friendship bread.
Recipes to it or in the
Recipes, go with it.
And that corn's in the bag underneath there.
Okay.
If they want some of it,
And there's walking onions under there.
Oh, there's walking onions under here, y'all. Any of y'all like walking, do y'all know what walking onions are?
We had that here, so you could, now.
Okay,
you can put it up there. I mean, if they want some of it, I'm not selling it. If they want some of it, part of networking with our.
Okay, these are called Egyptian walking onions.
I want some of that.
What happens is these onion plants actually grow up and they create these little bulbets on the top. Two things sent us some. And they just fall over on the ground.
Wanda's been telling me about those.
And they just root wherever they fall at and they make a new plant and just keep going.
Don't those come back here?
Yeah, at the end of the green onions, you'll like this in little bowl.
Okay, 70 salt rising bread.
Okay, 70 has salt rising bread.
It's pioneer bread.
Pioneer bread.
Y'all see 70?
Okay.
And it's square.
It's over there on the table.
Y'all give it. Yeah, that's what we're saying. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna do another giveaway, y'all. Okay, this is 70.
Don't ask me how to say
Focaccia? Focaccia bread. Delane Marshall.
back there.
Since I upgraded my can, I brought my old bath can.
Thank you, Kelly.
Water bath?
Yes.
Is there anyone here who needs a water bath can?
It's yours. I got it in the kitchen.
All three. It's yours. This is any acid foods, your tomatoes, you know what I'm talking about. Any of those. Thank you, sweetheart. It's yours. Okay.
Okay, now, I got the specialty. He said I can't do this, but I'm going to anyway. Y'all, he messed the spoon up. And I'm gonna.
I threw it away and she went and got
I went and got it. And
I threw it away and she went and got it out of the garbage.
And I took the end of it. And I'm gonna draw and give somebody one of Danny's messed up. And it's not wood burners. It's got Wanda's. What do you call it? What kind of pen is it? What kind of I felt Jill and I wrote these out on
Then you do nothing to do with this.
No, because he was going to throw
I threw it away. If it ain't perfect, I don't get rid of
last
it.
7 days. You get the messed up Danny spoon. Now Joel
You need to talk to them. Joel. There. Okay. Any more questions before we stop? Okay, guys, look, it has been a blessing having y'all here today. You know, y'all continue to meander and mingle with one another and get to know each other. This way, when we have YouTube videos and y'all see our live streams, if you see somebody comment, you can put a face with a name. That makes it a whole lot easier. You know a little bit about that person, you know a little bit about their personality because you've had a chance to meet them, you've had a chance to talk to them. So thank y'all for giving us this opportunity today to spend some time with y'all. Really has been appreciated. Thank you, Daryl, for actually allowing us to do this live stream.
Oh.
Thank you, Daryl.
And you got to thank B-Lady.
Yes.
B-Lady supplied the hotspot.
Yeah.
B-Lady supplied our hotspot today, guys, so that we can actually do this. So. Oh, okay. Give me just a channel through which the Lord used. Amen. That's how she wants it. Amen. All right. We're off.
You're done?
We're done.
for joining us. Maybe later tonight we'll see you all on regularly scheduled show. Thank you, Sherry. And then we have our live stream on Monday nights. She'll be a garden run next Monday night.